Hello again, traders. Right, I thought I might as well make a video about this BTC demo trade this morning, Sunday, the 26th of September, 2024. If I'm up, I open my charts, and I don't like trading BTC generally with real money, because it is, and I recommend you think carefully about trading BTC or scalping BTC yourselves, because it really isn't as reliable to trade at the weekends, or any day really, but weekends especially, because as you know, I love to use correlation, and I don't get the additional information from, say for example, USD pairs. You know, if BTC is going down, you would generally be able to look at US dollar JPY and see that will be going up, because strong dollar, people sell other instruments, excuse me, and buy the dollar as a rule, and vice versa. That if they're selling the dollar, they'll be buying stocks, BTC, whatever, cryptos, gold. Excuse me, this cold isn't any better today. Sorry to moan on. I'm not a whinger. It's it's not actually debilitating, apart from the fact that I can't taste my food, and I love my food. Anyway, back to the point. So I've kept this on this 30-minute chart purely because the moment I move move off this time frame, I will lose all of these things. I've no idea why, even if I think it's the labeling mostly, but even if I switch, put them permanent, some still disappear. I think it's down to one of the indicators I use and the settings on the indicator. Sorry to go off topic, but you know me by now. I do go off topic a lot, but in the hope that serious followers will persevere with my umming and ahhing and lack of editing, because I'm not wasting my life editing videos to be like an influencer. Anyway, I digress. So let's flip to another time frame and see what gives. We've lost a few bits, I think. Yeah, we've lost the text. That's about it. So, excuse me. Whenever I look at charts, so this is going to be a sort of a long-winded non-BTC analysis type video, but I always start on the highest time frames and get a feel for what's going on. So we can see this is clearly long, and once again, never ever trade any of my long-term analysis, never ever trade any of my analysis actually. All I do, because I'm a scalper, if I was 100% happy with long-term analysis and long-term swing trading and stuff, then I would specialize in that and own it. I am very bunged up, so sorry if I'm struggling to talk properly. But I see no need. I keep banging on about this, but there is absolutely no need for me to even think about long-term trades. One thing I haven't mentioned in the last few videos, when I mention trend trading and swing trading, it poleaxes, debilitates, whatever you want to call it, my scalping. Because if I'm holding a trade in gold long, I find it very difficult to scalp short against those longs. Something that maybe you can, again, trading is about muscle memory, if you like, for the brain. Alicia on my Twitter feed, Best Forex Method, has actually mentioned this in the last few days. I've mentioned it many times in the past also, but you know, it's the more people that mention this stuff, the more we're all helping traders help traders, as it were. So you can never reinforce quality ideas about how to improve your trading, in my opinion. So all my followers, please just carry on, input anything you think of importance, anything that you think I may have forgotten, I've mentioned in the past and forgotten. I especially like you guys when you watch my videos. Sorry, I'm off topic again, but I will get back to this. I especially like what Tony did yesterday, which was post a link to videos that he finds valuable. I'd much prefer you do that than comment on YouTube, but comment and do that is a win-win for me. You know, comment on YouTube and post the link across to Twitter, and that is even better. So back to this. So we're looking at I can see monthly's telling us we should go long. Excuse me, I'm going to have a coughing fit, so I'll pause this. Right, sorry about that. I forgot where I was, but basically we're looking at the BTC, which we can clearly see is long monthly. You know, if this was a 5-minute chart or whatever, I would be drawing a line on that that open close there, and we can clearly see we're above the open and close of those two, so that's bullish as well. So as I say, if this was a 5-minute chart, I'd be all over this like a rash long, but it isn't, and this can take weeks and months to do what it's planning to do with monster pullbacks. But we've got, worth noting on this, we've got loads of wicks up here and a tweezer top here. We've got a ton of wicks down here, so it is actually all over the place. Look what happened when we had a couple of big wicks there. Strictly speaking, tweezer tops should be equal. Double top, tweezer top, they should be as near equal as possible. It's always going to be, in a bearish move, probably a couple of pips. This is monster number of pips, but even a couple of pips through the high of the previous high will be a stop hunt effectively. I know all the die-hard young people are told there is no such thing as stop hunts and so on and so forth. Well, I suppose they call it liquidity grabs, don't they, now? These new scammers on the board. But it's just a stop hunt. And they were, you know, everything in trading goes through phases, or, excuse the pun, but swings and troughs and waves and whatever you want to call it. You know, all these ideas come out, they all become popular by all the noobs, and or popularized, and really, you know, all you need to worry about is supply and demand, stop hunts, and so on and so forth. Liquidity hunt and liquidity grab makes a lot of sense. Excuse me. Excuse me. But all the old stuff is not improved by all this new stuff that these people keep perpetuating. It's just, the fact of the matter is, don't matter what you follow or who you follow, everything works, but that isn't the point. The point is finding a way to train your brain. And for me, I've said this many times, it's no secret, the only way I could train my brain to trade profitably was scalp. Practice, 100 scalps a day or whatever, on demo, and then trade the demo as you would a live account, same amount of money, same size account, all that lot, same trade size, same targets. Don't, you know, demo trade targeting 5 or 6 pips, and all of a sudden when you change to live trading, you target 2 pips or you target 20 pips. You know, that's not the right way, in my opinion. You have to trade, practice trade exactly how you want to practice on a live account from a demo, a paper trading account, whatever you want to call it. That is the only way. And then many say hide the amount of money you're trading, just count it in pips. Whatever works for you, whatever works for you. Swing trading, if that works for you, swing trade. Don't take my advice on how to trade, but all I'm trying to do is share what worked for me. So back to this. So as this morning, I do this. It takes no time at all. There's no rush to jump into trades ever. So the analysis this morning, I remember looking at this weekly. I wonder if we can go up one more. And I was thinking, you know, what I've noticed with BTC, and I don't bother with any other cryptos, but they will all be the same. ETH especially, that's tradable, you know, spreads right and stuff. Movement almost emulates BTC. But BTC especially with, as I said, the fact that weekend trading cryptos is quite difficult when you use correlation like I use. But I looked at this morning and thought, right, remember the new weekly candle. I need to double check that actually. Yeah, we're on that. We're on this candle here. The new weekly candle, or this weekly candle, should I say, doesn't close to the end of today, and that can mean two or three things. It can either continue. I've seen that many times, to take out levels and you know, say for example this was not so far away from here, this supply and demand area up here, then it would quite possibly continue to the end of the day Sunday to that level. As that is so far away, my thought process has told me, and bearing in mind I've looked at the daily and so an H4 and so forth to come to the conclusion I've come to, my brain, my analysis told me, because I'm using multi-time frame analysis to scalp the short, but I still looked at this and thought, well, you know, 3 weeks of solid movement up, this is too far away just to be a quick hunt, liquidity hunt if you like, stop hunt up to the supply area for the day to day and then force it down. Now don't quote me on this, because it can do anything. Price can do anything, which is why I use the 1 minute to enter my trades. That was my thought process. So I'm thinking we've broken this level, and I'm thinking maybe we're going to pop back to test this, not today, but towards the start of this week, tomorrow, and the next day and the next day. So this is too far away. This is a potential, bearing in mind this is a massive move up, and we are a few days from the end of the month now as well, so that's a big old monthly move, 3 or 4 weeks. We are in to potential monthly reversals. So and again, don't hold me to this, but I think this has a good chance of pulling back based on the monthly close in a day or two, whatever that is, with the 29th. I think the last day of September is tomorrow. Excuse me. So that was my thought processes today. Maybe have a little rest, if you like, for want of a better word, in the up move. Have a little breather. Daily also agrees with that, in my opinion. Big daily candle into supply, and you can see the new daily candle is red. Once again, once we drop down a time frame, this is all saying long again. I meant to, you know, I study these as well. I meant to mention this the other day. I've mentioned it on my Twitter feed. I can trade these on their own virtually now, but on using multi-time frame analysis. This is screaming long still, but it's not new long. You know, if I want to go long, I want to see red to green. red to green. Look, green, and up it goes. All right, we've got a doji there, but ultimately, and we never just hit it and pray, always using the lower time frame. So that daily green close there, I'm digressing again, but the TMA is important. New TMAs, look how they green and up it goes. Green, and there was definitely a good quality scalp long there. Green, once again, we've got a massive move. These are massive, these moves. Green, rest, and then green, up it goes. So I don't mention that very much either, but you know, if you're serious about this, then you're watching all my coughing, spluttering, umming and ahhing, because I have a wealth of experience, and I can't do this on Twitter. So sadly I've had a cold, otherwise I would have made more videos. Actually, I want to get rid of that great big blue block there, actually, because it doesn't help this analysis. That can go now. Where were we on the daily? Yeah. So you know, these are so powerful, and this is what I keep saying on the Twitter feed. They are the result of years and thousands of hours. We're talking decades of studying every indicator basically known to the forex factory and other forums, baby pips and such like, world. And people keep improving these. I've been studying this, and I've changed the colors on another template to bright green to remind myself to look at this, because I don't even understand what that is telling me. But I have a habit now of, if I don't really need to know anything, excuse me, then I don't nowadays, because I've got everything I need in my trading on my charts now. I don't tend to waste too much of my life worrying about that. Happy to create videos and help people where I can. Happy to explain what I do on Twitter. But that's the limit of my unnecessary, if you like, analysis. The reason being, as mentioned on Twitter many times and a few times on YouTube, I have benefited so much by coming back to social media since being forced to do something to relieve the boredom during COVID lockdown. I've benefited so much by that additional screen time, if you like, after a 10-year sort of break from it, that it's only, you know, I feel always promised the traders that helped me get to this point that I would pay it forward, and I'm just following through with that promise. Anyway, so yeah, this is how I arrived at this conclusion that we were likely to be short. And then as we go down the time frames, I'm not going to go on for hours and hours all through every time frame, but you can clearly see the upward momentum was falling off at this point. There's you know, we've got higher high, which hasn't really made a higher high on the TMA. It's also made a lower high on the on the RSI, and we can clearly see at the moment, as I mentioned before, these are so powerful, these indicators. The MACD is telling me I should be looking for shorts only. Now, if and when that turns green on H4, then and closes green, you know, so an H4 bar closes and that closes green, look what I would expect to happen. Green MACD, and then obviously we check all these as well across every time frame. Longs, massive long. So I'm not going to talk about the entry on this this short, but massive, powerful long there. Look at that. We've gone from green to red there. They don't always go. This one's a fail, but then again, as I said again before, um, you can't just look at these and discount the indicators, which I've been guilty of doing in the past, and saying, oh, that's no good because look at that, it's a false signal, that it failed, fail. But you've got to take into account all the other, this might have been a news event during the week at 6 a.m. or whatnot, or there are numerous reasons why, it might have been running up to news, let's put it that way. There might have been news building for that day for, I don't know, middle of the day or whatever, and then boom, up that goes. So you cannot just look at these in isolation and decide whether an indicator is bad or good. I've done that in the past, but now multi-time frame analysis and deeper analysis of news, this is something that I don't mention enough either. I mean, you cannot avoid the screen time to teach your brain everything that you need as a trader. All these little silly trading systems like SMC and ICT and all the baby ICT lot that can't trade but are selling all sorts of crap to people, excuse my French. You cannot avoid learning about all the other stuff. Trend lines. I mean, people are complete tossers when they say trend lines don't work, don't use trend lines. And then 1,000,001 ICT followers all believe that stuff. Oh, we trade like the banks and we trade like this. Oh, God, for God's sake. We are the algo. I would say I'm pretty much closest to the algos that you can ever get, because I'm convinced the algos use all of these different lines and thousands more, because you've got to remember algos trade in nanoseconds. All this bullshit about liquidity grabs and FVGs and God knows whatever. Algos aren't doing that. They are trading, no doubt, bounces off of the daily open line, the weekly open line, the monthly open line. They're trading off of every different fib and we know, and all the other fibs we don't know about. There are thousands and thousands of ways that the algos trade that we know nothing about. But you cannot deny. Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to sneeze again. Sorry about that. You cannot deny that the algos do use some of the levels that I use because of, you can see the price react around them, but they are not the only levels. So to say that trend lines don't work and I am the algo and all that just proves how stupid people can be to follow and believe that stuff. Trend lines have worked, and moving averages and all that lot, linear weighted and VWAP and all that, and everything works. Everything works. Just work out a way to make money from it that you feel happy about. As I said on my Twitter feed at the top, confidence is what makes money. So, what's that Bruce Lee thing? Fear the man that has practiced 1,000 or 10,000 times or whatever. So for one hit, as opposed to the jack of all trades type thing. I forget the exact analogy, but that's what we're doing all the time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of practice hits until you get it absolutely right, which is, where I consider myself to be now. Still make mistakes, still adrenaline trade, that's life, unfortunately. Anyway, back to the point. So, we can see this is divergent. We can see, it's making lower highs and higher highs, and that was part of today's analysis. As I said, if this turns green, I am not going to want to be shorting this at all, providing then it's got a close green, and then we watch the 3CRs and the MTF momentum on all time frames, and that's how we trade. So, you know, this is priceless. Someone actually, you know, had a go at me about adding back the MACD. How can this be so good if you've got a crappy MACD on your charts? Well, it's not a crappy MACD, is it, mate? Idiot. So H1, you know, these are some of Dean's lines here. It's a monthly MN1 monthly high, and the resistance, the old resistance, has failed to hold as support. Things like that. You know, it's everything I do is everything on my charts is there for a reason. Thanks, Dean. I didn't mention you in the last video. Dean, you're a superstar. All of you guys that have contributed to my indicators, and I know I don't mention you all enough. When I say my indicators, the indicators that I use, I can't thank you enough for the progress you've helped me make, and again, paying it forward as much as I can. So that's it, guys. You know, long-winded explanation about today's entry. I said I wouldn't do it, but you know me, I'm always diversifying, whatever the word is. Now this has dropped below this. Excuse me. So there's your line chart level, and we're below that now. So where's the next test going to be? It will be there. Doesn't have to be. Once again, remember, timing is king. And also, I didn't mention this in yesterday's video, but this is important. If you study my line chart stuff, put back on, yeah, see it's tested that. But if you study my line chart stuff, as you move up the time frames, the actual true support levels of these line charts will actually most of the time move. So whereas that's there and there, the point being, if this rises up because it's H1, once the H1 is closed below, as opposed to the M30, that is an earlier possible entry. So I haven't checked this. No, it's same level, and this one's almost the same, but there is a big difference there, and we could look at and see whether that one's held as well. But if you go back to M30, you know, as a scalper, these differences in levels are huge, because I can then, if this closes below this white level, then I can target the next level down, which, you know, on a 1 minute, 5 minute chart could be 20, 30 points on gold easily. And then you've got the extreme. So, you know, you've got to flip between the time frames to get the most information you possibly can from the line charts. Wouldn't be surprised if this and this line up on maybe H4, for example. Let's have a look at the line chart. You know, you cannot make this stuff up. Yeah, so the line chart in this instance now, the H4 level that's been broken is up there. See, there's no pink, this thing below that level. You know, you could do a better job of precision on that. So if we go back to H1, we're way up here as the important level that price is closed below. And you know, so you can start getting excited about selling, shorting here in this instance. You know, if this was M5, it'd be, you know, say for example, might be an M30 level, but you had M15 and M5 below you. Hope that makes sense. But the M30 is the king. That's the powerful level. So the minute you've broken that, these are inferior levels. You know, I've got such a wealth of information that goes through my mind every single trade, and I can't possibly share all that on Twitter and so on and so forth. So that's it, guys. That's enough. Before I ruin this one and have to remake it, I'm going to upload this, and thanks for listening if you have. Please comment on YouTube and Twitter, subscribe, all that stuff that the influencers tell you to do. It's very, very much appreciated. Like as well, apparently that's good. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.